Hi, my name's Jack Hodgins. Welcome back to my channel. Remember tomorrow, guys, it's the International Drone Day, so look out for your local events in your area. My area is Brighton, so it's going to be sort of a big event, and I think it's going to sort of an event's going to happen every year. The drone industry, especially the Phantoms, really pushed the drone industry market to become quite an international market now, and it's no stopping us basically. And it's even got to down to, I've seen lots of reviews, I've seen a lot of issues coming up in the various forums and Facebook groups and so forth. There's lots of stuff out there, and lots of press has been pushed on this. ITV, the BBC, the Telegraph, all those sort of international press people have been talking about drones and how bad and how good and all sorts of stuff. And it's getting to the point now that the local police in our area actually are now using drones themselves for search and rescue and security and things like that, because there's a police not far from Heathrow and Gatwick that actually uses drones to patrol the Gatwick area and the Heathrow area for surveillance type things as well. And I know they're going into search and rescue. I mean, drones got loads and loads of potential what it can and can't do basically, but there's a lot of idiots out there that are not reading their manuals and not flying safe, and are actually causing big issues. But I don't think it's going to actually stop the drone industry as well. It been talks about YouTube, when you fly and you take nice video shots and you put them on your YouTube channel, and you run an advert on the YouTube channel, that's a no-no. That sounds like the FAA is trying to clamp down on that, saying you can't use your drone videos because they're classed as commercial. So as soon as you put an advert on the drone video, it's classed as commercial use. I know they're trying to sort of push that by law, so it's still a grey area. So if you are doing drone video for fun, don't put an advert on it, and it keeps you safe. And remember, always remember to make sure buildings, you fly above the regulation areas, because it will show on your video, and all it takes is somebody to moan and point the CAA or the FAA to your YouTube channel. They got the evidence, and then obviously then you get a fine from them and stuff like that. So I will fly safe, I always make sure I fly 200 feet in the air, which is reasonable good for photographs and aerial photography anyway for yourself. And it's away from upright buildings and stuff, and I'm not flying over people. And I tend to fly early in the morning when there's hardly any Joe Publics about, or late in the evening when more people are going home and stuff. So just fly safe and you should be fine. Right, I'm doing lots of support stuff now. I mean, the drone industry is getting bigger. People are still having issues with their DJI Phantom, Inspire ones and all sorts of stuff. And we know DJI is not very good on their support, right? They really need a push on their support. I'm not going to slag them off, because they are a really good drone manufacturer. I mean, they've done the Phantom, which really pushed the drone industry to what it is today, basically. About the Phantom release, the drones will still be very much a hobby, and not many people will know about it. And obviously got the Inspire 1, fantastic bit of kit. Once you fly that, you want one basically. So I'll do some more videos on the Inspire 1, which I've got now. So we'll get that up online soon. But basically, more support. It's my email just below. So if you've got any questions about your Phantom or your Inspire 1, or anything to do with quads and stuff, and you're not quite sure about, email it into me, and I'll do my best to answer those questions. I know DJI support's not fantastic, so again, the DJI questions, aim it at me, and I'll try my best to resolve them. I mean, this video is about resolving an issue at the moment with one of the viewers, and basically he's having a problem with, he spoke to DJI and they've come back with lots of different scenarios, and they're not being very helpful, and he's stuck basically. He's obviously asked my help, so I'm just going to do a quick video about this. So let's talk about that. So his Phantom is not playing ball, so I would, rather than sort of go into what his issues are, I would look at going back to the bare basics. And I think the first thing I'll do, right, don't worry about the range extender, because the range extender, all that is a way of communicating your app to your Phantom to be able to control the camera and the functions on it. It's got nothing to do with the way it flies. On waypoint, yes, but that's obviously not the case. But in theory, we want to strip this right back. So what I first of all do is, I've done the videos on hard reset. So I'll slide this into this video here. So first of all, what I would do is do a hard reset. So take the battery out, make sure the battery's in, because I've done that before, I left the battery in. So I've been told off that many times by you viewers. Thank you very much. So the battery's out. So I would first of all take your top off and do a hard reset on here, which is this video now. So what we need to do is make sure on the Phantom controller itself, it's got a number of numbers down the side there. What we're interested in is the F1 and F2. Okay, so I'll do a picture up here. and we need to short the 2 bottom pins out with the cable. So I would use the cable I got, and it's a little pin. It shorts itself out. You can probably use a PC jumper, which is a very tiny little pin you get off a motherboard or for a PC. If you've got a small one that's not, and it's got very small pins like this and not so far apart, that will do the job as well. So if I just fit that in there, while I'm doing that, I'll show the picture up here. Sorry, picture up this side here, how it looks, so you get an idea which 2 pins I'm actually shorting out on here. So make sure I've got that in right. Okay, so that's it in there. And what you got to remember is before we start this up and power it on, you need to also put the cover back with the GPS plugged into it, because if you don't plug the GPS into this, it won't actually wipe the GPS firmware. When we refirm it, we won't put it back on there either. So we'll just place the lid on here and plug the GPS back in. Because it's mine's quite tight fitting to put the GPS in. So oh, bit fiddly. Made it too fiddly. Just bear with us a sec. Actually play ball with me today, so let's try again. I think I've done it now. Let's just make sure she's connected in, because otherwise it won't firmware properly. Wipe it. That's it, she's in. Right, so obviously make sure the GPS is attached to this. If you've got a gimbal, make sure that's obviously attached, because this one I've got no gimbal, so it's not going to be able to wipe the gimbal firmware or refirm it back. So yours will have the gimbal on it anyway. So the GPS is attached. We've got the cable in place, got the cable dangling outside there. So we are now ready to power up. So we put the battery back in. And power up. And we should get this funny noise as we got here. Red lights, funny big noise. That's telling me the firmware is wiped. So now we'll switch over to the PC and we'll load up. Oh, before we do, install, remember to fit the USB cable. Okay, USB cable's in. Now we'll go to the PC and we'll load the software up on here. Right, software's loaded up and it's showing it's the firmware version is now 00, and it's now prompting to me to now upgrade to 3.08. So what we do now is click on the upgrade button, and it'll give you a pre-warning, say, are you sure you want to upgrade this? And you say yes, and then now start upgrading the firmware. So give it a couple of seconds. There you go. Upgrade completely successful. So now we can now power cycle the Phantom down. So we'll do that. So off. Okay. Click OK. Now we need to, before we power back on, what we need to do is we need to remove the 2 pins. So we just slightly pull those out. Okay, so they're removed from there. Keeping the top on with the GPS still on there, and then we can then power back up again. And then look at the software as it's running through its power up sequence. You can now see that it's firmware to 308, which is latest for this video. The GPS has been refirmwared, and everything else has been refirmwared, apart from obviously what's not connected. Obviously the remote's not connected, but everything else is done. So, and in hope, because mine hasn't got the gimbal at the bottom there, it doesn't show it, but obviously on yours it'll show the gimbal, and then it should show the latest firmware on the gimbal. So that basically tells you it's a successful upgrade, and that is how you actually do a full hardware reset. Hard reset will now strip the firmware off and reload the latest firmware, which I do believe is 3.12. So that will strip it on there. The firmware blowing back on there will literally do everything to do on the Phantom itself on here, on that side. But it doesn't do the gimbal. The gimbal's got a separate firmware for that, but I wouldn't worry about the gimbal for the moment. So the next stage I would do is I would remove the gimbal, okay, take the gimbal off and the cables out. So the gimbal's not on there. So that in theory, that won't need to use Wi-Fi extender. So you just literally just got a plain Phantom, okay? Then what I'll do is rebind the controller. Forget the Wi-Fi extender, just the controller. So keep the controller switched off, and under its belly you have, if you look at the Phantom, so it's looking directly at you, okay? So the bum's behind you. To the left of it is a tiny little hole in the side there, okay? So there's a tiny little hole in there. So power the Phantom up, use a screwdriver to push down there and push the button once. It'll turn a different colour. And then all you've got to do is make sure there's no other radio interference around, and make sure the remote control is still switched off. Is then power it on, and then instantly that colour will change on there. That tells you that's now binded to your Phantom, okay? Now I'll turn everything off. I'll put the USB cable back into the Phantom, plug that into your software, and I'll go through the calibration, recalibrating the remote controller. So we've got the firmware done, and then we'll bind in the controller, and then we'll do the recalibration of the control sticks and stuff. This is how you do it. I've got a video here. You calibrate your controller when you bound your controller now. So what you need to do is click on your basic RC. So this is your RC remote controller. So you need to say you're not on the basic version anymore, you're not upgraded version. So click on the upgraded version, which then brings you to this. And then the next basic, it's easy as this. So first of all, you need to click on start, and then once you've got on start now here, you need to calibrate your stick calibration, which is quite straightforward. It shows you in the picture exactly what you need to do. So straightforward is each stick you'll move. So move right to the left, to the right, and let go in the middle, which is the balance at the middle, then down, then up and down, brings it to the middle, and then on the right side of your stick, go left, and then right, left, right, and then up and down. Keep them straight, because if you do it at an angle, you're not going to do it. They should all then balance out in the middle, as you can see here. And make sure you push the stick right way down so it locks, and then back right to the top again, right to the top, and again right to right, right to the left, and balance it. So once you've done that, click finish, and that's your then stick calibrated. And then you need to calibrate your X1, which will be your the little slidey control button on the side here, which is to operate the camera. So with that, you click on calibrate or start, and then from here you just scroll, get to your hands on this, scroll all the way down and then all the way up, and then let go, and then that should balance out to the middle. So once that's balanced out in the middle, click finish, and that's it, it's done, and it saves. Now the calibration is done, we now literally take this out for the first flight. So what you're going to do, because you've got no range extender connected and you're taking your gimbal off, so you won't be able to use your app at all. Literally just take the Phantom and your controller out. You need to look at what the lights are. Full green light means full GPS lock, so you're going to have to go by the light. So take your little label that came with your remote controller. If not, go on the web and download what the colour lights indicate. So you go out, go find a field that's completely empty. There's nothing around you. There's no overhead cables, and there's no one else with RC or any type of vehicle or interference could be. Put it down and go through the normal process. So the first thing you do is power up the controller, power up the Phantom. Forget the range extender because your gimbal's not on there. Okay, so they're powered up. Do the calibration test first on there. So that would be using S1 up and down. I think it's 10 times. Then the green lights will change, and then do your normal calibration. Remember, turning it to the left basically, and then that one as well basically. So you got that round 360, that way around 360, and then these will flash to indicate calibration was correct. Then put that back down, wait for your green lights to go solid green, which basically means GPS lock. So once that's completely locked on GPS, then you're safe to fly. So I would fly it, arm it up and take off. Get it hovering in front of you, eye level. Keep it eye level and leave it hovering to see what happens, see if it wanders. It may wander a little bit because it's obviously GPS. So long as you've got a good GPS signal, it should stay quite stable in the air. Then what I'll do is then test to make sure the controls work. Keep it eye level. I will then go up and down, keeping it go above your head and then come back down to eye level to make sure your up and down sticks work. And then go to your left, to your right to make sure they work, and forward and backwards to make sure all your sticks actually work. So make sure all your switches S2 and S1 are all up basically, which means GPS. And fly around in sticks. Make sure it all flies. If it all flies nicely, take it a bit higher and just fly it around on that mode. Okay, on GPS manual mode to make sure the controls are working fine. It's hovering and it's flying as it should be. It's responding to controls as it should be basically. So try that out first. And once that's then done and you're happy with that and it is flying safely and it's not going all over the place or it's wandering off or it's deciding it wants to return home, keep it close to you so you don't put it into return home mode. You just want to test to make sure it's flying as it should be flying basically. Bring it down, okay, and then what we need to do next is then we'll do the Wi-Fi extender configuration. I've not tried rebinding the Wi-Fi extender, so I've done it before, not had an issue with any of my Phantoms to be able to rebind it back. So I'll try that over the weekend, attempt to rebind that back, see how easy it is. But if you follow the instructions on the DJI website, there's an FAQ on there that actually tells you how to go about rebinding the Wi-Fi. Give that a go. So do that last. So let's just recap over this. Let's just make sure we've got I think what I would do. So first of all, I would do a hard reset on this one, on the Phantom. So hard reset on the Phantom first. Remove the gimbal off, so we ain't got the camera involved or the Wi-Fi extender. Okay, rebind back the remote controller, back to your Phantom. Okay, take the Phantom out then recalibrate the sticks on the software to make sure that is all calibrated correctly. Okay, so the only thing on the calibration you won't be able to do is actually the tilt wheel. So leave that out. Just the main controls. Okay. Go out for a flight to see if they actually fly correctly. So make sure you've got all the functions up, down, left and right. Keep it low so it doesn't wander off and stuff. And if need be, you can grab hold of it really quickly as well. So and if you're not 100% sure, tie a bit of fishing wire to this and put it down so it's enough to hover in front of you. So if it does want to go wild and disappear, you can put it back quickly. And plus the gimbal is not going to be on there to damage it. So I would do that just as a safety precaution. And maybe tie it to get one of those camping pegs that you can put straight into the ground. Tie a bit very like fishing wire connected to this, or even a long bit of string that gives you like a good 10-meter range on it, so you can take it above and just make sure it's working and flying as normal. So if it does decide it wants to wander off, you've got it tethered. So I would just do it as a safety precaution. So check out all that works with the controllers, make sure it all flies as it should be and stuff. And you're happy with that, bring it down, then calibrate it, rebinding this back. So fit the gimbal back on, plug it back in basically, and I will then what I will then do is download the gimbal firmware on the SD card, put it onto the Phantom, power it up, and it should then go through re-firmware in the gimbal. So that should hopefully then reset the gimbal back to its original state, and obviously with the latest firmware on it, because a lot of the common questions are, if gimbals are misbehaving, try re-firmware it to see if it comes back. So I'll give that a go. So I did a video on that for you, how to do that. So that's back on. Then I'll then do the binding of the Wi-Fi extender back to the camera, and then before doing the update on the extender, just literally bind that back first to see if you can get video back and see if the app works with switching the camera on and off recording wise. Just check everything on there, and the communication between the camera and that is good as well. So I would check that out first. And once you're happy with that, I'll then do the upgrade on the Wi-Fi extender, which will then allow you to use your data on your phone on there for the mapping side. Because all the updates on the Wi-Fi extender was to open, because the default gateway for this points to itself. So when you was connected to the Phantom with the Wi-Fi extender on, you couldn't get internet access on your phone it was impossible. So the update was allows the Wi-Fi extender to use default gateway back on the phone, so then you have internet access on your phone as long as you've got data allowance and your phone had a data connection nearby. Then you can then upload the maps live on your waypoint flying. Basically, that's all that did. It shouldn't have done anything else to the range extender, because I applied mine's been fine. It's not been a problem with it at all. So that's the only update it does on the Wi-Fi extender. It allows you to use internet access on your phone as standard. All right, so try that out and see how it goes. Then give me an email back. Give me an email back. My email address is below. Okay, and let me know whether this actually resolved the issue you've got, or whether how much it has so far. So do stages at a time, you know. So first of all, back to basics. Reset, gimbal off, rebind, recalibrate, test flight. Okay, just do that first, and let me know how it goes. Cheers.